Be friends if you're gone. Welcome to the cabin. I am in the kitchen getting ready to put on my corned beef. Got my cabbage out. I got another cup of coffee. This is like my third or fourth cup now. How y'all doing? Should pin my things back a little. I don't have a clip down here. Hey, Sandy. Hey, y'all. So I figured I better come on. Hey, Shell. Because I tend to, whenever people are ugly, I tend to just like avoid live stuff. So I figure I would come on and just jump into it. What kind of coffee you talking? So earlier I had just regular old Folgers, and I love Folgers. I make my own froth. I use Truvia. That's the only. Look at this. Isn't this cute? Let's see this. This is cute. So I use Truvia. It's the only kind of, like artificial sweetener we use. I put a Truvia in my little pot, milk, whole milk in there, and then I put it on the frother and I froth it nice and thick. And then it goes in. It's a nice, beautiful froth. It goes into my cup. And, you got to drink with the straw to keep those pearly whites, or to be hands-free. Which I'm hands-free a lot because I'm doing, other things. So, let me see if I got a clip or something for my little hair wants to whisk into my face. I'd even take a paper clip if I had it. Of course the junk drawer has none of that. Why would it? It's got all the other junk in it. I got a baby knife. Nope, not finding one. Not down here anyway. Anyway, that's my coffee this morning. But, so I ran out of our pot. We always make a big pot. I'm almost out in there. That wasn't enough for a cup. So what we do is I buy Folger decaf and Folger regular, and I mix them and put them in other containers. And then, so it's a half calf. And typically in a big pot of coffee, you put a scoop for every cup. We do not do that. And everybody loves our coffee. We do 3 heaping scoops for a whole pot. And so not only is it half calf, but then it's, even less coffee. And you can see, it's not syrup at all. And it's not, just coffee water either. So that way I can drink coffee most of the day. But anyway, we finished that. So I did do a Keurig, and I did a Snickers Keurig. Can you believe that? I ordered mine from, Keurig. I do. That's where we order. I used to order from another company, but Keurig gives you 25% off if you do auto delivery, and you can skip any month. So I love that. I love it. I love it. All right. Oh, I found a pretty ring. I'm such a, I get distracted. Squirrel. Talk about men getting distracted. I get distracted. All right. Let me get my corned beef here. And this is a biggie. This weighs about 3 pounds. But Lord have mercy, by the time I take the fat off and log home Dad could not eat it. Whew. So if you haven't watched my YouTube video, I show you in about 10 minutes how we make our corned beef and cabbage. And the first thing I do, though, is get a lot of the fat off, because I don't think it alters. I don't get every stitch of fat off, but corned beef has a ton of fat. And it doesn't alter the taste or anything. It's just one less step I don't have to do later when I cut it up. Getting the fat off. There's nothing, I hate it when I do have corned beef somewhere out and there's big chunks of fat in it. It's like, ugh. I hate it with pork too. If y'all have ever gotten barbecue pork and pulled pork, and then you go to take a bite and it's nothing but fat, it's like, I can't stand it. Can't stand it. So even after I did my follow-up video last night, and I was so mad, so mad, I still had, and I edited the caption on my previous video. I still had so much crap. Even this morning, a lady, just a little bit ago, on my video from last night, not the chicken video, she says, so you're a Biden supporter? Oh my God, people are just so ridiculous over the internet. But you know, they're ridiculous in person too. I mean, we've had people say ridiculous stuff to us. We went one time out to eat, and this was just last year. We were so excited. There was this brewery where we were staying, but they have a lunch, and the lunch looked scrumptious. It was like all hand cooked and, you know, like right then, and it just looked so good. So we were so excited, and we had never been there, and it was very industrial, which we loved. And we had just built our cabin pool, and we were like looking around, getting ideas, because they had like pallet walls and these steel industrial beams and stuff. And and when they sit you down, you aren't anymore. Restaurants they build now, you don't really like have your own booth or table. So when they sit us down, it's this one long booth, and on one side is chairs, and on the other side is a booth. And then, you know, the table's real tiny, and there's a break in between the tables for you to sit down. So there's this couple sitting next to us. And as we're sitting there waiting for our food, we finally got to order, and we're waiting on our food. We're just kind of looking around. And of course, you look at other people's plates, and you look at what's going on. And poor Log Dad is blind in his right eye, which is great for me if we're in the car, because, you know, I can make faces at him and stuff. But so he's in the restaurant, and when he looks to the right, he has to overcompensate with his left eye. And so we're sitting there, and there's this couple sitting, I mean, literally her and I could touch elbows, and same with Log Dad. And Log Dad sat on the side with the chair because he didn't want to crowd the woman sitting next to us. And we had another, almost like I think it was like a bachelorette little ladies weekend going on next to us here. And so then down on the end, on the other wall, because this was the wall right here with the four ladies, on the other wall was a family with a little baby. So cute, so cute. And Log Dad kept looking over the baby and looking at me and smiling, and we just love kids. And you know, we're looking around at all the decorations, and of course we're looking at food as it comes out and stuff like that. Well, we both have tendonitis really bad, and mine right now is crazy, and it's crazy in loud spaces, which this was a loud space because there wasn't really any ceiling. It was, you know, the industrial beams and all. And Log Dad's is constant all the time. Mine tends to act up if I've got a cold or if I get really upset, which I'm dealing with it right now. And so, and my allergies are crazy. So we're sitting there, and we had probably been waiting for our food for a good 15 minutes or so. And at one point, the guy next to us, and mind you, we can't hear nothing, he says something, and I'm always the type, I don't know how y'all are, but I'm the nervous laughter type. And I didn't know what he said, and it was just my nervous laughter to kind of, you know, and Log Dad, though, I could see his face, because he was sitting closer to the guy, getting real serious. And I'm like, what'd the guy say? And then Log Dad says, excuse me? And he goes, is there something over here you're interested in? And I had to get up and walk away, because if I sit there, I'm going to say something. I was pissed. Well, Log Dad did not follow me. I think he had a few words for the man, but he came outside, and Log Dad is one of those men that talk to himself when he gets upset too. And of course he's sitting there and his lips are mumbling, and I actually asked for a manager, because at this point we're not going to eat, right? We just want to pay for our drinks, which I'm shocked the manager even made us pay for our drinks after given what happened. Manager did apologize, gave us free drink cards, all that stuff. We had to walk away though, but I'm just amazed at the things people will say in public. And I'm sitting here looking, you know, Log Dad he has a rough time a lot of time. He's been blind since the day he was born. He's got a cataract that covers his eyeball. And if he was born now, they'd be able to, even 20 years ago, they'd probably be able to fix it, and he'd be able to see. But they didn't when he was a baby back then. And, you know, so it's embarrassing sometimes, like in that situation, because you know, people just automatically assume things instead of being kind. And I'm just absolutely amazed at the audacity of some people, how ugly they can be. And like last night, you know, being attacked by people that are supposed to be like-minded without them even listening to a stitch of my video, or obviously not knowing me and just jumping to conclusions. Or like last night with the video I made, and of course I was passionate, was so upset, and my face was red as can be. One lady, I get off, and y'all had gotten her, and she ended up blocking me. I shared the screenshot in the comments of the video, but she comments something about me need to be on meds or something, because I'm upset over being called vile names. Your hair looks amazing. You're so funny. Thank you, though. So it keeps getting them this one side. Fun fact, a lot of people don't know about me either, is if you haven't read my story, I was very much abused when I was a little girl by both of my parents. I was about 13, and my dad came in. Apparently, one of the guys that raped me when I was, molested me and raped me when I was a little girl, and raped me again when I was 13 years old. His girlfriend, because now he's probably 18 or 19 or 20 at this point. No, he had to have been older than that, maybe 22, 23. She told my parents at 13, and I didn't know this, that I was on cocaine. I didn't even know what cocaine was at 13. My dad said to me one day after he did what he did to me to make my hair like this, he said, "Have you ever had coke up your nose?" And I said, "Well, yeah." Because I'm thinking, when you drink a soda, and we called everything Coke, you know, we didn't never drink name brand stuff. When you drink a soda, the bubbles go up your nose. That's how naive I was. So my dad comes home from work. His brother was an airline pilot out in California, and he made him this ring out of an airline bolt. It's like on his middle finger, I think, on his right hand. And I was sitting against the table when he asked me that. Like, we had a picnic table for a table, and they had covered the top, like stapled it underneath with, like, you know, picnic fabric or whatever. And then the benches were covered and stuffed. So they were a little squishy. And so I'm sitting up against the wall on the one side, and he walks in and asked me that. And when I said, "Well, yeah," thinking nothing of it, he took his hand and backhanded me and hit me upside the head. And I've got a huge chunk of hair missing right there. Like, it never grew back from the damage from that. And so my hair is freaky. Like, I have this one area that keeps, it doesn't know what side to be on because it's split like that. So he died as he lived, alone, miserable. I think he was dead for 3 days before anybody found him. And he lived disgusting at the end of his life. I understand there was rats just crawling freely all over his house. And he didn't even have a bathroom. He went to the bathroom in a 5-gallon bucket and left the bags sitting out on the porch for people to pick up and take to the dump. So he died as he lived, a horrible human being. And I hate it, because my prayer was always that he would maybe in the end see Jesus, and maybe he did. We don't know. We don't know what those last moments was like. But I just know what a horrific way to die. So anyway, my tinnitus is so bad this morning. I didn't get to sleep until after midnight last night. It's because if you have ever suffered with tinnitus, it's a ringing of the ears, but it also makes your head feel like you've got a head cold. You're all clogged up, and I'm sniffing because of allergies. Our pollen is a high alert right now. It makes you feel like you've got a head cold, and then everything sounds like it's in a well, but you also hear a distant ringing. Now, Log Home Dad's ringing is really loud. Mine's super loud when I'm really upset. Like you just want to put on earphones and drown it out because it's just intolerable. So usually I'll listen to, like, I'll go back down to my crates as soon as I'm done making dinner. And I'll probably, I have 6 crates left, by the way. If anybody wants a crate, send me a message and I'll send you the info on it. They're my monthly mystery boxes. But I'll probably put in my headphones or turn the TV super loud while I'm down there finishing up because it's just a horribly uncomfortable feeling. How's everybody doing? Well, you're beautiful as always. Well, thank you. But that little piece of hair always reminds me of, I've never, ever been able to get a haircut that makes it go away, or bangs have helped, but for some reason I can't even do bangs anymore. They don't want to stay down anymore. You know, it's always at times like, you know what, I'm going to just do bangs. And as soon as you cut them, like, you're like, why'd I do that? Now you got to sit and wait for them to grow back out again. I can't put it back. You know, you can't put your bangs back. I'm in the water a lot, so you can't put your bangs back in a ponytail. So they, you know, end up hanging in your face or just look stupid. So I've decided to forego bangs as of now. Who knows? Tomorrow I might change my mind. I don't know. I don't know if I will or not. Hey, girl. Hey. Oh, see, there's my girl. That's my bestie from growing up. She can attest to the story I just told. I don't know if she heard it. But I was telling him about the time my dad hit me with his ring, backhanded me in the head and split my head open. That's why my hair does this. That piece right there never knows where it wants to be because of that. Maria, did you send me stars? That's the first stars I've ever gotten. I just saw a notification. Lord have mercy. And then these allergies, and I've run out of my Flonase, so I'm going to have Log Home Dad stop at Sam's and get a big old pack, because, man, whew, this is bad. And I come back to Florida, and every time, I guess because it's new stuff when I go somewhere else. Now, at the campground, there was something bothering me, but there was a lot of things bloomed out. It was beautiful. But when I come home, I know it's the pollen here. It's the oak pollen, and we have oak trees just all over our yard. I mean, we've got granddaddy oaks and little oaks, baby oaks, blackjack oaks. We got everything here. All right. This has a lot of fat. Like, all that is fat. And like I said, I don't get every little thing off, but I do try to get a lot off. Because I cut it, I don't like just shred it. I cut it into slices. We love corned beef, though. It is so good. And every time I make it for St. Patty's Day, I'd go, why don't we eat this more often? So I love it after St. Patty's Day when stores put it on sale, because then I can go back and get me some. Like, I've literally just cut 2 layers of fat from this piece, and I'm still not even gotten to the bottom of it yet. Goodness. You gotta use you a good fillet knife. Definitely. I know the sniffing is terrible. It's awful. I'm so sorry. I can't even keep a tissue. And it's funny because I think you're just stuffed up more than anything, and it just gets further down. You blow your nose and ain't nothing there most of the time. So that stinks. But it's terrible being this stuffy. I went out yesterday with the chickens when I was with y'all and walked around the yard, and, you know, between all the weeds and all the pollen and the trees and stuff, by the time I come back in, I think that's what did me in now, why it's so bad. I probably ought to go up. I have a, I didn't even think about doing this until I just mentioned it. I'm going to go up and do I have a, what's it called? Navage. I have a neti pot too, but you've drowned yourself in that dang thing. But I've got a Navage, so I think I might go up in Navage. And that seems to help because it clears out the nasal cavity if you do have some pollen and stuff. Lord, I was supposed to have surgery one year. This has probably been about 7 years ago. And there was a ceiling tile in the garage. I don't know how it is where y'all live, but we have ceiling tiles. in our garage where, you know, your autos are, and then in our shop too. And in the garage though, you know, you've got, insulation. And of course the house is 30 years old or whatever. And, there was a tile loose. So I got on a stool. I was going to have, this was on a Wednesday. Might have been on a Monday, and I was supposed to have surgery on a Thursday, I think. And so I got up on a stool and I took the tile off and I went to move it around. Well, when I took it off, insulation and dust and everything fell down in my face, right in my face. And I was like, oh my goodness. Well, by that night, I was full on sicker than a dog. I called my doctor's office and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to have surgery. They called me in a Z-Pack and I was fine for surgery. But you know, you're only supposed to take so many of those in your lifetime. So I do try to treat it with other things. I'll have some tea or try not to get upset. It makes it worse too because my nose gets stuffier. Oh Lord. You're gonna start. Oh, you should be working, girl. Why aren't you? Send me a message. Why aren't you working? Goodness gracious. That's funny. Anyway, so here I am. I'm just getting this. I'm almost done with cutting the fat. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my sausage and put it in the skillet. Not my sausage, shoot. My cabbage, and put it in the skillet, and that way it's ready to go later so I don't have to stop again while I'm doing my stuff. Because when I get down there, I work on my crates. We actually have a basement here in Florida. I know, kind of weird, right? And it's big. It's huge. It's as big as our whole living room, which is really a nice size. And I have a TV down there. I got chairs down there, and then I've got all my Scentsy stuff down there. And then I have little tables and like a little workshop area where I do all my crates and stuff. And so that's where I do them. And it's nice and quiet and cool down there. There's no windows, but it stays nice and cool. And so I go down there. I don't even know when it gets dark when I'm down there. But I do have a smart TV. It's an older one, but I've got a couple of apps on it of things I use. I need to get a Roku and put down there when they go on sale again. And so I just sit down there and I put on my shows. Like right now I'm watching, that's what I was watching last night. I'm watching Good Girls. We had watched it, and I think Log Home Dad got disinterested on the last season. So we only watched like an episode. And so I picked it back up the other day, and there's like 16 episodes. I think I'm on episode 8, and they're like 45 minutes each. I may finish it today because I've got quite a bit to do on crates still, and I have another package I'm waiting on, and the dang thing's not going to be here until after 3:30. So it's going to be like a long day, which, you know, all this is going to take me time anyway, but it's going to be a long day. It was a long day even last night after all the drama and everything. I didn't finish up working on them until after 9. And by then, Log Home Dad comes in and he says, I am exhausted. And I said, I am too. But I laid there and I tossed and turned, and because my tinnitus was just so bad, I tossed and turned until midnight. Goodness gracious. This fat is way different than fat you get on normal things. It's very thick, and it's hard to explain. Like, it's very thick and like lots of tendons and stuff wrapping around the meat. There we go. But boy, when it comes out, it is so tender, you guys. The apple cider vinegar, I put my recipe up. The apple cider vinegar and the garlic and everything, it just makes it so dang amazing. Love it. Oh my gosh. So I got everything out. I got my onions out. I've got my garlic out, my apple cider vinegar. The spices are very minimal that go in it. The key is low and slow. Although I think last year, because I was so busy, this is always my crate time, I think I ended up having to put it in I do have a Ninja Foodi, and I put it on the, the pressure cooker, which it still had to be on the pressure cooker about an hour and a half. But it'll go in the crock pot for about 6 hours today, which is still my Ninja Foodi. I just put it on the crock pot setting. That thing is like the best value in the world. It's got pressure, air crisp, steam, bake, roast, broil, slow cook, sear, and dehydrate. So it does everything. So you're paying a little bit more than you would for an Instapot, but it does all that. And with me having a smaller kitchen, and I keep it on the counter because I use it so often, I decided to go with that and then have all these different things. If you put them away, you know, you tend to not use them. But since this is sitting on the counter all the time, now I did do, if you notice it, I don't know if you can see it, but I do have it on a butcher block, a really thick one. It's probably about that thick. And I have it on a butcher block because we have granite counters, and an Instapot can actually, and a Foodi can crack or break your countertops, also your glass stoves if you put them on a glass stove. I think I'm almost done. So you got to be really careful about that. So I actually got out a butcher block I have that I really only use when I cut watermelon, because it's so thick and it has these edges around it and the watermelon juice runs to the edges. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this thing to use. If I need it for watermelon, I just take the Ninja off of it. So, but I love that Ninja. It is the best versatile little thing. It cooks rice. Like brown rice last night was 15 minutes, and I cooked 4 cups of brown rice total. I shared that recipe with you that I did with the casserole last night, which was delicious. And you could put more cheese on it if you want. But I actually did add an extra cup of cream of mushroom and 2 more cups of rice to make it go a little further. So we would have lunch and all for today. Because I knew I'd be busy. I knew Log Home Dad would be busy. I'll show you this as soon as I'm done. I got one little piece here, I think, to get. So I wanted extra for today. And it was good. I used 2 chicken breasts. It was really easy. Mushrooms, onions. I would probably put, next time, I may put a few more onions in it. All right, I think I'm about done here. Let me just show it to you. You'll see there's still fat. All right. There's still some fat. So it's going in the pot. Let me wash my hands. Oh, let me throw away this fat, and I'm going to read your comments as soon as I do that. Let me throw this away because I got to get this. I use a cutting board. I said this in my video of me making this. I use a cutting board. I love these. I use a cutting board for each different thing I'm cutting at, so you don't have cross-contamination, because you end up with cross-contamination. So I use like 1 for meat, and I have them marked too. They're marked. So 1 for meat, 1 for veggies and bread and stuff like that. Well, veggies, yeah, just veggies and bread. And I've got it marked too. And then the other one I use for poultry. Look at this hair. The other one I use for poultry. So that way, even though you clean them, you're still going to have some bacteria left behind. You can't help it. It's just the way it is. And at least I'm not cross-contaminating like my veggies or something else I'm making. Because what if I'm making a salad and it's raw and all that? So I typically wash it really good. And that's the key to anything. And you can actually bleach them if you want. But I just make sure mine is washed really super good. And these mats are from Pampered Chef. They have the self-healing, when you cut them, they have the self-healing little things on them. So I love these things. They come in this size. And then I did Pampered Chef for a hot minute. But people are not, like, I did it to do freezer meal workshops. So where, like, you know, you made fresh food and put it in freezer bags and then put it in the freezer for an easy meal. And just people aren't interested in cooking by scratch anymore. Anyway, they also come in this size. And you can see, like, I use mine like crazy. So this size and this size. So if I just have an onion or something I'm cutting up, I'll get this one out, which is probably the most used. Look at the back of it. Oh. So they're great. They rarely stain. That one had a tomato stain on it. I see my sweet niece on here. Hormone therapy. I'm making my corned beef. Miss Debbie. And I'm sorry I'm sniffy. I know someone mentioned it, but that's life. It's real life. I could either not come on, or y'all could put up with my sniffles every once in a while. All right, I'll have to go back and look even more. Hey, Ken. Happy St. Patty's Day. I hope you have a wonderful day, too. Oh, my gosh. I see lots of y'all. Lord. All right, let me get now my onions. Okay, so I had to go to Camper and get my onions. Look, I brought the essentials camping, onions and limes. There was some garlic in here too, and some garlic, and what else do I have? Cilantro, some tomatoes. I wasn't really cooking because it was my birthday. I didn't want to cook, but you know, limes I love, even if I just have some tea, I love to squirt a lime juice in there. That's good too. I had another thing of onion. There it is. All right, so I have different knives for everything. I see Welcome Daddy. He just came in. He's like, woman, what are you doing? So I have this big onion and I have this piece of onion. I'm probably going to use all of it for everything I'm making. So what I'm going to do now is spread my spices over my corned beef, and then I'm going to add the water and the apple cider vinegar. So here we go. So I use about a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, about a cup of water. And sometimes I'll post a picture, and I never know if y'all make anything. Like one lady come back to me and told me she made my pico de gallo, and honestly, it was gross. There's way too much cilantro. And I'm thinking, if you thought there was too much cilantro, why did you add more cilantro? Like, why would you put too much in there? I don't even know. I don't know what's wrong with people. About a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. All right, so that's going to get poured in. Now I'm going to do my spices, and it's going to get shook right on top. So probably about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, which I love these pots. I don't know if y'all use little pots when you're cooking. It makes life so much easier. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Right here, Local Daddy. Hey, Local Daddy. I'm making corned beef with everybody.
Hey, woman, what are you doing?
You hear him over here aggravating me? That is my life, being aggravated between him and the doggies. He thinks he's funny. Love you. So we love dang garlic. So I'm probably going to do about 4 big cloves of garlic. And this time, instead of mincing it, because we love garlic this much, because I love roasted garlic. I don't know about y'all. I might be using more than that. I'm going to slice it. And with my onions. So I'm going to slice it. I love this thing. This is Pampered Chef too. I've loved Pampered Chef my whole life. I'm going to use that little seasoning pack. Because, you know, it's there. Why not use it? 3 bay leaves. So that is just my dry spices. I'm just going to put it right over the top of it. And then I'm going to put in 3 bay leaves. Oh my gosh. It already smells delicious. 3 bay leaves. Can y'all tell I cook all the time? Everything is ginormous around here, including us. 2, 3. Oh, I'm going to put 1 more in for good measure. All right. See, that's what cooking's all about. And if you love it, and once you're cooking, you'll realize that. One of my girlfriends, I said something about the one lady being snarky about the pico de gallo. And she said, you know, I don't cook. And if you gave me a recipe, I'd do it exactly as you say too. And I'm like, To me, if I did something like with cilantro and it looked like too much, I'd back off. I'd be like, let me put a little, and I'm always the type, I put a little in first and then I'll put a little more later. Hi, puppy. Oh, you see the puppies? Love you, girl. I'll put in a little bit more and then I'll see how it is. And like I make my watermelon salsa, I give y'all a recipe, which if you don't have it, you need it. Look up Log Home Mom Watermelon Salsa on Facebook. My recipe's on there. I actually have a link to a printable recipe too. It's freaking amazing. Oh, every summer should have watermelon salsa. All times of the year should have watermelon salsa. Every pregnant woman needs watermelon salsa. But anyway, I literally don't measure anything. I just go by, oh, I've got this much watermelon. I'm probably going to need this much salt. I'm probably going to need this much cilantro, whatever. And then I taste it. And if I think I need more, I add more. And that's how I do with almost all my recipes. Almost every one of them. I'll show you this little gadget. I love this thing. Do I have my little bowl out? I can use this bowl. I do have one of those garlic peelers, but I find by the time I clean that dang thing up, you know, the little sleeve that you roll it in, I love it. It works great. But I find out by the time I clean that up, I could have just done it with my hands. But it does keep your hands from smelling like garlic. Although, all you gotta do is rub your hands with some soap and water onto your faucet. And you take the smell out. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Don't know why. One more. I put quite a bit in this. It's okay though. And this is all that's going to go in, and then it's going to go in the slow cooker. Should have done this on YouTube. Welcome to Log Home Mom's Cooking Show. Starring me, Log Home Mom. Figure if I come on, I'd get some kind of over my fear of saying things because people are so crappy. I wanted to say another word. I almost said another word. They're so crappy that it makes you not want to do anything. Look here. I love this thing. Isn't that the best? I use okay, so the difference between using sliced and minced garlic. Sliced garlic, I feel like gives you a nice sweeter finish. I don't know if it's because it gets brown. I'm not sure what, and it doesn't char as fast as minced garlic. So like if you're frying it, if you're doing some fried onions and you want to put garlic, or you're doing some fried squash or something, I would slice it. Mince seems to burn very easily, and the crispiness of the sliced garlic, and it gives like this caramelization around the edges, and it just is so sweet, and I absolutely love it. There you go. So now onion time. Hey guys, you guys are so sweet. He's sweet. I love him. Do you know we're going to be married April 4th for 36 years. 36 years. Hey, Log Home Dad, our anniversary's in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Okay, just telling you.
Do we have any more of the lemon packs?
Bars?
Yeah.
No, but let me go down and get you one. Log Home Dad's so sweet. When he does a job, he, what do you do, Log Home Dad?
I give him a gift.
He gives him a gift. And we have this one warmer that we actually stocked up on with Scentsy, and it was for the Alex's Lemonade Stand, and it's called When Life Gives You Lemons, Make Lemonade. And it's just a precious little gift. And so if you don't know, we do water damage restoration. So if your home office or building floods, we dry it. And most times when Log Home Dad gets there, people are panicked. A lot of times, you know, I would be, ladies are crying, squeeze a day. Ladies are crying, and, bye baby. you know, they're really upset because, I mean, it is when you're, oh, here's my room. It's a mess right now, but I've got bingo coming, so I've got some new warmers sitting there. Y'all can't look because that's crate stuff. So here's my room. Anyway, you know, ladies are upset because their house is flooded and things are ruined. And so Log Home Dad gets there, and he's got such a sweet disposition with everybody. And he tells them all, you know, and gets them all calmed down. But we always give him a gift. So that's the gift he gives them. And proceeds of that go to Alex's lemonade stand, which Alex died from childhood cancer. And we've met her mama. She's super sweet. So it's great. But let me show you this too. I'm right here. So this is my little spring. I do a buffet with like my Scentsy stuff on it, but I try to make it super cute. Like this was a warmer of the month a couple of months ago. We always have these two in stock. This is a brand new warmer for Easter. Isn't that pretty? This is a brand new warmer for spring, summer. And then this one also, let me put it on here and show you. It's so pretty. Always looks different on. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And then this one is our warmer of the month for, it's beautiful. It's like this wood. Warmer of the month for this month. And so it's only available while supplies last. The wax goes in there. It's an element warmer, so no light. This is a retired warmer, which I love, love, love. And then this, I wouldn't totally have this out yet because it's not summer. But this is a brand new warmer. And y'all, if you know me, you know I love flamingos. So this is the flamingo warmer. Love it. So all that's just decorated around that warmer. This is a brand new warmer. It's so pretty with all the beautiful flowers. It's got like a little pink tinge on the glass. This is a Disney warmer, and it's vintage Disney. And then these are my fragrance flowers. So there is my little buffet. And I only turn it because it's a lot of lights, you know, so I turn it on when everybody comes over and stuff like that. Let me turn it back off. I have it all set up to where I can turn it all on at once and turn it off at once. Anyway, oh, and we got these 3 waxes. They're a special because we're at the Epcot Flower and Garden Show again this year. Scentsy is. We're sponsors. And these 3 waxes are freaking amazing. Scentsy has something called a Scentsy Club. So if you put it in the club, they'll make it for you the rest of your life. And I just got my 3 waxes in. Oh my God. One of them is Mint Fields. Oh, it's like you're in a field of mint and wildflowers. So good. And then this one is Soft Plumeria. Oh my God. It is so delicious. Yummy. Yummy. I put all of these in my Scentsy Club. And this one is my absolute favorite, Heirloom Rose. And it smells like you just went to Grandma's house and smelled the roses on her rose bush. So those just came out too, and they're only available while supplies last too. So jealous. What are you jealous of, Missy? Oh my gosh. He's such a sweet man. So anyway, he's off to, he did a job for this lady. This job he did was a mold job, and she is a pastor, I think. And whenever he gets done with a job, he goes and takes them a gift and says thank you. So he is taking her When Life Gives You Lemons, or When Life Gives You Lemons, Make Lemonade warmer. And then he is taking her a little packet, and then also a bar of our, which is a bestseller too, but it's Squeeze a Day, and it smells just like fresh lemons squeezed. It's so good. We've had that one in my cleaning products, and it's dang amazing. Love the flamingo. Isn't it adorable? As soon as it's on the cover of our catalog. So as soon as I saw the cover of the catalog before they released the catalog, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Here's my knife I'm going to use to chop my onions. I already got onion peel on it. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is mine. I love flamingos. I got to show you. Log Home Dad for my birthday. went to the designer stores, which I was shocked. I wouldn't buy designer things for me. When I say designer stores, he went to Vera Bradley and got me a beach bag. So we have a cruise coming up for after our anniversary. We're going. It'll be during Welcome Dad's birthday. He also got me a purse from Kate Spade, and then he got me this purse. There it is. And it was funny. He said, "Do you love it?" And I said, "I love it. Absolutely love it. But I would have never spent that much money." And he goes, "But it's a Michael Kors. And it's got flamingos on it." I have never had a super nice purse like this. Like, I've gotten Kate Spade before, but from her clearance site. So I have never spent money like that. I don't spend money. And not that it wasn't that much. I mean, it was like a little over $100. But I would never have bought that. So, but he did. That's what he got me for my birthday. I've been meaning to put a picture on. He was so proud of it. He come in with all the bags from the different stores, and he just had a big old smile on his face. And I was like, "What'd you do?" And at first I thought maybe there was an outlet or something he went to. And I was like, my mama heart's so proud. My wifey heart's so proud. And then when I realized, I was like, "Oh, baby, you spent way too much money." And he says, "But it's a Michael Kors." And I'm like, you know what Michael Kors is. He wanted me to have a nice purse. He is so sweet. It was a really good price. You know, of course, it's not the great big old purses, because I can't imagine what those cost. But yeah, it was super sweet. I thought it was nice. How can I take anything back like that when he does that? And you know, as you get older in life, you realize it's not the gifts that matter, honestly. It's the memories. And like, we don't just buy each other a bunch of crap for Christmas. We don't just buy, you know, a whole bunch of stocking stuffers, or, you know, we buy little cute things, but we save that for something nice and big, and maybe even an experience. Like I said, for our anniversary, we're going on this cruise, which I'm so dang excited because we've never been anywhere like that. We're going to the I don't know what it would be considered, but it's the Caribbean. And so we're going to end up the last 2 days in San Juan and the Dominican Republic. And what I love about this is Norwegian, we're only at sea 2 days. So we're gone 9, but we're only at sea 2 days. Like, if we would have left Port Canaveral and went to Mexico, we would have been at sea longer. And I didn't want to be at sea most of the time. I wanted to be, and they were having a sale, like the second person was free. No, so everything was like the cab was half off. 3rd and 4th people are free, but it's just like home dad and I. But you get a free drink package, free Wi-Fi, $50 room credit on shore excursions per day. I feel like, we get 2 dinners at their specialty restaurants. So we'll probably go out for Log Home Dad's birthday, and then we'll have another day that we celebrate our anniversary. So that'll be fun. So as soon as I'm done with my crates, I'll have to get started on that. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I think I'll save the rest for my cabbage. Now, when you do your cabbage, don't be afraid of doing a lot, because it cooks down a lot. And apple cider vinegar, that's why, apple cider vinegar, using that in your corned beef is going to tenderize it, and using it with your cabbage is going to take away the bitterness. A lot of people don't like cabbage. They'll be like, I don't like the taste of cabbage. We love cabbage, and I love not just cabbage, we love collards, but man, I make the best cabbage, the best collards. So I'm gonna put this puppy on. Oops, I gotta take this out. Put this puppy on. And what I do with my lid, there it is. This is the pressure lid you gotta put on. I was so afraid of getting a pressure cooker because when I was a little girl, when I was a little girl, my neighbor loved me. absolutely loved me. She was so sweet. Her kid, she had a daughter that was grown, and I was over her house one day. Her pressure cooker on the stove exploded and everything went up on the ceiling. She was so upset. And so my whole life, I've always been afraid of pressure cookers, even with like, you know, the electric ones and stuff. And someone told me on Log Home Mom a couple years ago, finally broke down, I got the Ninja, still hadn't used it as a pressure cooker. And they're like, just do it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Just make sure you release the air good. And so I did. And like, I boiled eggs in 5 minutes, like a dozen eggs in 5 minutes. I couldn't even believe it. And so I was hooked. So you just have to make sure you release all the pressure first. And I've never had an issue. Knock on wood. Where's wood? I got knock on wood. I don't have any wood. Oh, my cutting board. There. We do too. Cabbage. Love it. And I feel like because we don't just boil cabbage. A lot of people like, now I do not like cooked spinach. Unless it's in dip, which means it's slathered in mayo. I do not like it. I've tried it so many different ways. I can't get over that bitter taste. And I don't know if maybe I cooked it like collards, if it would make a difference or not. But with my cabbage, I don't just boil the cabbage, and that's not how I do it. It gets fried in bacon grease. And did you know you can buy containers of bacon grease now? I have one. It's in I think I left it in the camper. You can buy bacon grease now. But I will fry some bacon, and then I will take the bacon and grease and all and pour it into my cabbage and fold it all over and add water. And I literally put it on simmer and I let it get tender. And I cook it for an hour or two. And after it gets tender, then I turn the heat up and I fry it. Oh my God, you don't want to burn it. You just want to fry it. Oh my goodness. And then if you feel like you need it, because I put a little apple cider vinegar in there too, salt and pepper. If you feel like you need it, you can add apple cider vinegar on it afterwards, but mine has always tasted so amazing doing the apple cider as it's cooking. But what I do love of collards is some balsamic reduction. It is just delicious, but there should be no bitterness left. There should be none of that if you make it the way I'm telling you, because I don't like it when it's all bitter. I've had some bad collard greens in my life. My Lord, have I had some bad collard greens. All right, my onions are chopped. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all in my big old pot and just put a lid on it. Look at this pot. I love this thing. Pampered Chef also. So that's all just going to sit on my stove until I'm ready to fry it. So I'll probably, maybe around 6 or, no, probably about 5, I'll come and start it. Cabbage is so good for you. And I don't know, those of you that grew up on it, I'm a little country girl, poor country girl. So I had lots of cabbage and lots of beans growing up. We'd have fried cabbage and pinto beans for dinner a lot of days. So one of the treats as a kid, it's so weird because I don't know any of my friends that ate like this. I don't know any of them. But there's the core of the cabbage, and that was like the biggest treat in the world we could get growing up, is that core of the cabbage to chew on. It's a little bittery goodness. I don't even know. It's so good. It's so good. I don't even know how to explain it. It's raw cabbage. If you like raw cabbage, you'll love it. But the core would last forever because you would kind of nibble on it. Now, I do cut my cabbage a little bigger because you don't want little tiny, you don't want to go to eat it and it just be mush. I'm probably going to make, I had a half a head where I made stew. I'm probably going to make the whole head and a half. because it will cook down to like nothing. And it's funny when I go out to eat with friends how they don't like leftovers and they'll just leave their food. I'm like you, I'm packing that food up. It's going home with me. We went out with one of our friends yesterday for lunch. She's a business associate too. And I brought my salad, the rest of my salad home, and she didn't. She barely touched her salad and didn't bring it home. And that's what we had for lunch was a salad. And I'm like, oh, that puppy's coming home with me. No way. And it was delicious last night too. Sorry, that was my break. All right, so I got a whole nother, I had a half a head. It's not a huge head. I didn't buy a huge head. And I love cabbage in a stew too. And like I said, I grew up poor, so things like this was filling and cheap to put in a recipe. So I do love, now I make some amazing also lettuce wraps with sausage and cabbage. Oh, so good. And of course, coleslaw. We love coleslaw. So I'll cut cabbage in half and then lay it on the other side and cut it down on a quarter. And then you end up having to cut it 2 other times to be able to get the core out real good. Here's a full core. And it's really thick in there. Like it's the core is very solid that comes up. Like a core of a cauliflower or a broccoli. Like that. So you definitely would gnaw on that thing. But boy, was that a treat. It's kind of like licking the spoon. Or the beaters, as long as they turn them off. Oh my goodness, this looks delicious. Anything going on in the news last couple of hours? I looked at it this morning when I first woke up, but I have not looked at it since then. I've been so busy. And I'll be busy the rest of the day. I usually look at it in the mornings, just like Facebook. I look at it in the mornings, I look at it in the evenings. Now in this, I don't even mind using the bigger chunky chunks because they will get cooked down. So they'll be nice and soft by the time we're done. And you can even cut it into like strips if you want. So it's not so thick. Anything going on in the world this morning? What is people messed up today? I put one on last night. Whew. Man, I was hot. After everything with everybody on my page, I went on and saw that and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Now you could put garlic in those too. You could slice some garlic and put in with the cabbage. I'm almost done cutting it here, and then I've got to get back down to my basement. If y'all see anything you want that I showed you earlier for my spring for Easter collection, you can always order at LogHomeMomandDad.com. Yes, we do this together. I love it. That's why I was doing Pampered Chef, which I love to cook. I love it. But, you know, when people buy a skillet or buy, you know, knives, whatever it is, they're not replenishable, you know, because they're guaranteed for life and they last forever. So, yeah, you might have some sales, but it's not sustainable for like a career. So, oh, I can smell the corned beef already. I switched to Scentsy because I like the company, but I love the products. The products are just absolutely quality, but it's replenishable too. So people need, you know, I have some customers that order 2-3 times a month. People need stuff and they order it, which is nice. And I love that they support us. But what I love the most about it was this was something that Log Home Dad and I could both do. You know, he's not going to go cooking with me, and that's just not, he grills, but I mean, he doesn't make he's not as elaborate as me. I give it to him and he puts it on. He'll tell you that too. I mean, he loves to grill and he's very good at it, but it's just not like a passion of his. He's not making up recipes or anything like that. So to be able to do Scentsy together. So when we do events, he does them with me. He helps me set up for bingo. He's been on live on videos with me. He loves it. He gives his customers, since he has gifts, absolutely loves it. He is like, we were camping and he comes in, we're leaving. Actually, we're getting the camper ready to leave. And I'm inside cleaning my little booty off, sweating like a pig. And he comes in and says, do you have a packet? Like one of our packets with like samples and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, hold on. I gotta stop what I'm doing. And so I went and got a packet, and then he comes back in and he goes, hey, do we have any dog products with this? This lady wants dog products. He's out there selling it. I'm just cracking up. I'm like, oh my God. And sadly, at the beginning of March, we discontinued our pet line as a regular line because it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Love it. It smells so good, but it just wasn't, you know, I think it was one of our least utilized lines. So they did away with it to focus on other things. And so people are super sad because my customers love it. And I think it's because we have dogs and we love it. So I stocked up a little bit to make sure I have plenty. And but we discontinued it. So I happened to have a bottle on me in the camper, and she was able to buy a bottle. I just happened to have a brand new bottle. I was like, yeah, I got one. They always discontinue the things we sell them. Like probably the number one warmer we have ever sold was this little vintage camper. I post it every once in a while when we're going camping. And it's the most, because I think you attract people that are kind of like-minded. And so that camper we sold the most of. If I just sat it outside my camper door, people wanted it. And or an event or just whatever. And we sold that thing like crazy. So when it was being discontinued, oh my goodness. And I think I have like 4 right now, but I'm saving them because we hope to have a campground. And I want not just a campground, but I want to rent out campers like Airbnb. So I want them in my campers because I just love that little thing so much. But that's going to be the next little venture. Oh my goodness, let me get that off. All right, so now I'm going to show you I'm all cut up. It's in my pan. I'm going to put the lid on it and just let it sit here all day. When it comes time, I'm going to fry my bacon in another pan, and then I'll just put all the bacon, all the grease right in this, along with my water, my apple cider vinegar, and a lid, salt and pepper. You're going to need salt and pepper, but salt and pepper to taste. I mean, my salt and pepper and your salt and pepper are 2 different things. So salt and pepper to taste. Let it boil. It's literally, I bet we won't even end up with 1/3 of what's here right now. It looks like a lot, I know, but we won't even end up with 1/3 of it, and we love it so much. So I'll let that just simmer, and then at the very end, I'll fry it. So, and then I got my corned beef is officially cooking. So there we go, y'all. Okay, well, I hope y'all have an amazing day. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help you. But I'm glad I came on because after last night, I was like, I'm done. I'm never going to post again. I'm like mad. People still got on. One lady, Pamela, got on ugly on my one from last night. And it's discouraging and frustrating because I pour a lot into it. And I know people are like, well, it's the internet, you know, like don't let things bother you. Just move along and block them or whatever. But when people directly target you and say things to you, especially like that was not deserved, because what they didn't even look at my video or anything, or they must not follow me, because if they followed me, Lord have mercy, they'd know better. And so it's like so discouraging when they do crap like that. And so I'm just like, all right, I'm done. And then last night, even when the one lady commented, and I was up till like midnight, and I was just like, oh my God, I gotta get over this. I'm never going live again. But then I thought, I'm gonna be in here cooking. I'm gonna go live and try to get through that part. But anyway, you all have an amazing day. I'll share pictures later when food's all done. If you make the recipe, let me know how you love it, because I know you will. I'm telling you, I never liked corned beef. I never had it fixed in an amazing way where it was freaking delicious. This is so dang good. You don't need like a gravy. Now, I do have a cheese sauce I make to put over the mashed potatoes, a cheddar cheese sauce. So it's so good. And I don't always do it, but I'll probably do it tonight. Why not? Why not? It's St. Patrick's Day. But you guys have an amazing day, and I hope you make some family traditions and some memories that will last a lifetime. Bye, y'all.